So I just so about about yesterday, while I was in the midst of the horror and the discomfort, as I have described it to be, of the job I currently, you know, have. So I found out something here. This was unintentional. This wasn't planned. I found myself started to be fascinated about things about this job that I didn't like. But the parts of it that I was fascinated about weren't, um, usual. I was fascinated about certain parts of it that had something to do with what I loved. Which was interesting because it almost seemed as if it was some sort of coping mechanism or something weird, you know. Because when you're in a place, you usually find yourself being in that place. What I mean by that is that when you're in a place that you take on that through the windows of your personality, you take on the burdens or pleasure that that place holds for you, according to how you describe it, and how you describe it depends on your hopes, expectations, and desires. You know, so I found myself now seeing through the perspective of my fascination of things I loved. I was in the midst of the whole, fabrication site, and I started to be fascinated by how the welds were happening, how the structure were being fabricated all together. I'm a design engineer. I love designing things and I love watching them come to life. And up to that moment, I have been really angry with the management of, how I was being given so much with so little information to go off of, expecting like I was expected to do so much with much little given to me um, you know, as an explanation to and time to kind of take on that responsibility. That was what was my initial burden. So this led to my boss shouting at me and all of that. I just hope I'm saying this correctly, and I hope I'm not speaking too much. Basically, I started having joy and happiness because I was not looking at the jobs that I didn't like. I mean, the not like the jobs I didn't like, the my surrounding through the lens of what I have passion for, what I'm fascinated by, and that made the whole difference because you know um, it allowed me to see in my situation what can give me joy, or what was meant for me somehow, you know, and you're not always where you want to be. Most likely you're not, or maybe you are, and I don't know. I don't know you. So it helps to find amidst of where you don't want to be, to still find and be observant and be receptive to that thing in the shape or form that you can perceive of what you have passion for, what you love, what you're excited by, what you're, you know, um, enticed by, you know. And now I was no longer focused on when I was in the company, as in about yesterday. I wasn't focused on what didn't make me happy about the place. It wasn't controlled. I didn't have to not focus on it. I just found things I liked and it took me away from the terror of everything. I was nowhere to be found, you know. I wasn't trying not to focus on the bad parts of the job, but I was just so fall I was just so fall in my whole being into that which I love, you know. And no matter where you find yourself, there's going to be always an element of that thing that is going to be, you know, representative of that thing that you like. And you just have to find it. And it isn't that hard because if you envelop yourself with that already, it's almost as if when you envelop your heart with a particular thing, the thing starts showing up everywhere you are. And I guess that's what I'm talking about. So amidst of the bad job, amidst of the unhappy life, marriage, if it's something you are looking and you see that the best way to go, I mean, I don't want anybody to endure anything, but sometimes you find yourself in some sort of shit and you realize that you getting out might not even just be the way. And you just need to hang on and just wait for the right situations and coincidence and moment for what you really want to click. So I don't know if it's endurance, but if you just it isn't endurance, it's just finding yourself in the midst of strangers. That's what it is. In the midst of strangers and strange things and horrible things. So I guess that's what I have for you today. I hope it's something you're looking for.